6435, launched 4 years ago. This one quickly became one of our mainstays. It's a phenomenal product. From a yield standpoint, it's probably one of our strongest disease shield products, meaning its score against Goss's wilt, anthracnose, northern corn leaf blight, Goss's wilt, and southern rust is second to none. Not only our lineup, but also the industry. About the only chink in its armor is the tendency to green snap a bit when we do get the extreme winds. Because of that, we do like to keep it on more of a protected acre, but quite frankly, on the tougher acres, it's still going to be one of our mainstays. But obviously, let's not put all of our eggs in one basket. Be sure to complement this one with 6357, 6675, 6088, and some of the new ones like 5982, and of course, don't forget 7027. Here's a brand new product for us in 2021, 6464. This is actually the Smart Stacks version. We have a Double Pro version, 6465. The thing we like about this one in comparison to the other 114 day in our lineup, 6435, is it's a little bit shorter statured than what that one is. Does have a little bit better green snap score, will emerge just a little bit better than 6435. You'll notice that it's a little bit more upright, so we do try to focus this one, at least until we learn a little bit more about it, on the more highly productive acre, that 175 and on up kind of yield potential. It's the other knock that I can lay against it, although it's not a huge knock, is agronomically it's probably not as strong against disease as 6435, which is absolutely the industry best. So you do want to make sure you're hitting this with a fungicide that will reward you well in yield, but will also protect against that southern rust that can start to creep in on this one and maybe deal us some problems. A newer product for us, 6595, is one that we've eagerly anticipated for quite some time. For many years on that heavy stress acre in southeast Nebraska, we've relied on the old guard, meaning 6581, 6758 in some extreme cases. 6595 is a great showy product that brings us all of the agronomic benefits of a disease shield product, except for Goss's wilt. I'll touch on that in a minute, but also can handle that heavy stress acre. Grain quality is fantastic, and harvestability at the end of the year and harvest quality is going to be great with this product. You will notice it probably won't get as tall as the 6581, so that's also a plus. About the Goss's wilt, it is rated a 5, which is average, but that does keep it from moving too far west. And if Goss's is a problem in your area, I'd use this one in a limited amount or try a different product.
We now jump into this 115-day maturity, and we have one of the more tried and true hybrids in 6435. Now everybody knows what 6435 can or cannot do. If there was one hiccup with 6435, it can green snap. It doesn't do it in its lifetime in southeast Nebraska. I've seen it do it once here about 3 years ago, had a little green snap with it on a 4th of July storm. However, one of the benefits of 6435 is its disease shield capabilities, as well as its standability into harvest. So I talk about wind a lot and green snap tolerance a lot. We talk about wind at harvest a lot. And most years we get some day when it's 50, 60 mile an hour winds and you're out there trying to pick corn. 6435 stands quite well in those types of environments. It's got a load of data. 56% of the time, and this has crossed 1,851 comparisons. So think about that. It's got a 2.6 bushel advantage over the leading competitive and Dekalb hybrids. Wait a minute, that's only 2.6. However, the data is weighted so much with 1,851 comparisons that that yield difference is going to go down the more comparisons you put with it. 6435 has done quite well for the last 5 years now. Another caveat with it is that it's not something that pops out of the ground real fast. So it's a later planted hybrid, but here again, it does stand well late, and it puts it in the tank in October. Now, we use that as a baseline to talk about the new one with 6465, another new release for 2021. Data that we have with it right now is a 5 bushel advantage over 6435. So some acres that have had 6435 before is where 6465 should go, with about a 5 bushel yield advantage. This is a corn on corn option, okay? And when we talk about corn on corn options with hybrids, that usually equates to how well it emerges in high trash environments, what kind of disease package it's got late, can it handle bacterial infections like glosses wilt, and that's things that 6465 appear to thrive in. And then we'll transition into 6595. Okay, so we've got 214 days and 115 day corn. How do you split them? I talked about the utility that you find with 6435. Appears to have that same utility with 6465. Where does 6595 fit in? All right, here's a little data on it. 65% of the time, plus or minus 4 RM, 717 comparisons so far. It's got a 5.7 yield advantage. 4.7 above the average last year. 31% of the time it was in the top third. 63% of the time it was in the top half. So it's kind of got the consistency of what we find in the 109-day material in 5982. Another one that you can plant in the hills early. Fungicide ratings on 6595 is generally average. Okay, here's the break. So when we talk about disease package, we talk about fungicide use, we talk about fertility. 6595 is a little bit more of a high utility in some of the bottom, high population, narrower row spacings if you're in 20-inch spacings or below. That's where 6595 would be that's where 6465 would thrive. 6595, a little bit better in the hills. At that medium to high yield environment, that 200 to 200 plus yield environment. 6465 would be another hybrid that we would look at swinging for the fences. Put it in your bottoms, your high fertility acres, and that would be a little bit better fit for you. So we've always got options in each maturity. Kind of a dryland fit, kind of a dryland bottom or sub-irrigated fit, if you want to call it that. Not a lot of irrigation in southeast Nebraska. Not a lot of corn on corn acres in southeast Nebraska, but 6465, this new hybrid, would certainly be a choice there if you have that right environment.